Hello everyone, and thank you for clicking on another one of my videos. I am Screen Scene Guru, and this is going to be a video review on Lord of the Rings, Rings of Power Season 2. We've just had the series finale just the other day, so this is me recapping the season overall. So without further ado, let's get started. Now, if you've been following my channel for any amount of time, you might have seen I've made a video on this before on the first two episodes. This will be basically a follow-up video on episode 3 through 8, the finale. So let's get started. Going on from the story where we've left off from the beginning of season 2, we got to see the stranger going across the desert lands of Middle-earth, otherwise known as Rhûn, being followed by, of course, his Harfoot buddies. They, of course, found more of their kind in the desert called stores, which was kind of interesting to see. We also knew of this dark wizard, which a lot of people were speculating was Saruman. That was not revealed yet in this season. It's still speculation into season 3, who the Dark Wizard necessarily is. He didn't give himself up, his name, or who he is. But another few interesting high notes, we got to see the forging of the 7 rings of the dwarves in this season, which was very cool to see. Much more Sauron backstory. We got to see Celebrimbor, the backstory of him. It was adapted differently from the books. This Amazon Prime TV series, I really have grown to have a kind of hate-love relationship towards it because of the storytelling with Celebrimbor, some of the things with Galadriel, which were improved upon much greatly from season 1. But some of the storylines still with her and Sauron, their shipping, I completely hated that storyline from season 1, and they continued it in season 2, which I didn't really care for, or it didn't make any sense. But going on from that, we got to see basically the beginning of the fall of Khazad-dûm, so the dwarves' homeland inside the mountain, which we know by Lord of the Rings time has become barren, abandoned, no longer dwarven stronghold. The Belrod and later on goblins take it over. So yeah, we were beginning to see that storyline with the father falling into the madness of the ring. So we got to see that. The 7 dwarf lords, I believe, are going to be picked out in season 3. In the next follow-up season, they are continuing this series. So we're going to see more storyline with that. Going on, we got to see a little bit more backstory with Elrond. He became sort of the leader of the military command, facing off against Adar, which was probably one of the best highlights of the show. I really loved that character. Unfortunately, we got to see his tragic fall from grace in the finale. But going into some of the extra side characters, Elrond got a major upgrade in character story. Went from just a scribe kind of scroll reader to a legit soldier battalion leader. So I really like to see that. Then moving on to some of the orc story was kind of confusing because they tried to give an idea of orc lives. Orcs matter all of a sudden, and they have families. So that was an interesting concept. If you guys are following the Critical Drinker, he's been giving us a great monologue week by week on how this show has been going. But anyway, just to wrap up the final notes on the show, Adar was probably one of my favorite characters of the show. They switched actors from season 1 to 2, and I felt like that drastically changed the performance of the character. I know we only got to see him a bit in season 1, but then the art design, the costume improved tremendously. they did this weird thing. I don't know if anyone else noticed, but the last 2 episodes, they CGI'd Adar with more of the darkness spreading, I guess, throughout, making him more of a dark elf. And I just thought it looked like crap. But then the payoff for this finale, when he's been hounding Galadriel for her ring, and he finally got it in the last episode, then we got to see him kind of almost praying, kneeling by this monolith, giant stone. And when he turns to Galadriel, the wickedness, the evil that had corrupted him once before by Morgoth, had gone, and he was wearing the ring. The ring had purified him. It cured him, to say the least. And he looked great. He looked fantastic as an elf. And when he took it off, the makeup looked practical again. It didn't look CGI'd, layered, which I loved. But then the orcs went and killed him, like they did Sauron at the beginning of the show, season 2. Which I thought that was a great Caesar, or like a Rome-esque, your battalion turning on you, great storyline if it was used well, but it just felt thrown in. It felt like it was rushed. So yeah, that was a little bit disappointing, but last note, for those of you still watching the video, the actor who plays Sauron did a great job this season, a lot better than Halbrand we got to see in season 1. I hated, though, how he tormented Celebrimbor. The relationship there was totally different from the books than the Amazon Prime show. The whole "give me the 9." He did say that. Yes, he was obsessed, but he wasn't, as clingy or as cringy as some of the aspects gave off in the Amazon Prime show. And then the killing of Celebrimbor, of course, if any of you that have played the Shadow of Mordor or War for Mordor games, you know there is more backstory there. Celebrimbor's ghost inhabits a man, and they together go on a quest to forge a new ring, a ring of light, against the One Ring of Power. They totally go away from that storyline in the Prime show, which was really unfortunate, because that was great source material to use. But so yeah, that would be the last couple of jots and notes of my thoughts on Rings of Power Season 2. It was better than Season 1. I'd give it a 4 out of 5 stars if we were rated that way. Or let's say 8 out of 10, if you would. It's getting better for sure. I want to see Season 3. I'm excited for the budget of the show, because the fight scenes in the 2 big battle episodes were very good, movie quality. But I do understand some of the complaints about how they're pulling from Peter Jackson's trilogy too much. Some of the similarities in the directing of the episodes was parody-ish almost. But let me know your thoughts down below. Make sure to like and subscribe on the video. Follow me on Instagram on Screen Scene Guru for future videos and content. But until next time, guys. Bye-bye.